doing, because obviously their first reaction was, oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, as opposed to empathy, sympathy. And I think if it had come from the, oh, let's look at what really happened, I think people wouldn't be so hard on them, I believe. But then a boy has died, a child has died, and so what was your first reaction seeing and hearing this story, Mrs. Oyinda Molanke?
Okay, so I really only just got to see the video yesterday. I've been avoiding watching it, but I needed to watch it to really understand the gravity, because I'm here, wearing two hats. I'm a school owner, I work with children, and I'm also a lawyer. And so there's certain consequences that come with actions like that. And I watched that boy breathe in pain. It's quite sad, and I'd like to, shout out my condolences to friends, family, and all, concerned Nigerians, because it's actually caused quite an uproar. For me, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for a child to have gone through that. There's no excuse for parents to be going through mourning a child at such a young age. I mean, my heart really goes out to mother, father, siblings, and the whole of Nigeria entirely. And what for me is more painful is because I work with children. And children are perfect.
They are.
And that is the
precious
truth. Children are perfect. There's no child that's born a bully, in my opinion. So I don't want to, preempt it, but I'll talk more about that.
Right. How about you, Mrs. Ogunyemi? I mean, when this news broke,
it has been a very, very traumatic experience. Mrs. Ige looked through the video. I couldn't. Very heart-wrenching, very upsetting, very traumatic. I mean, I put myself in that child's mother's position, and I felt, this is a bit much. You're sending your child to school. You're not expecting your child to come back in a body bag. So it was it has been very traumatic. I was telling my daughter, I said, I don't want to hear anything else about this story. It is really getting to me. Yes. So it has been very upsetting. It has been very heart-wrenching, and I haven't been able to get over it yet. It's very, very
I can't imagine, because you run a secondary school.
Yes.
God forbid, this could have been, God forbid, your school.
Ronke, I was saying...
Did that thought occur to
I was saying, may we not be in the news for the wrong reasons?
Yes.
Because we were in the news recently for doing so well.
Yes. Do you all remember Dorcas? I actually brought her here on the show. Dorcas, the girl that scored all A's in her WAEC.
The best WAEC results in Oyo State, second best in Nigeria. So I was thinking, I wouldn't want to be in the news for the wrong reasons. It was it's really, really upsetting. So as a secondary school director, let me say, I oversee both schools. My heart really went out, and immediately I sent a message to my sister, who is principal, and I said, we don't want to get into trouble like this. So if there are any cases or anything we haven't put right or done right, this is like the time to make sure we do the right thing.
Absolutely.
We actually don't really have cases of bullying. Because I will tell you some of the reasons why.
Okay.
Also,
and how you have been able to
handle it. Yeah.
Because oftentimes people like to, especially parents, they're bullying my child, but those bullies, they are somebody's children too. And I think a lot of parents often were in denial. Just this morning, a lady wrote on Twitter about how her child would come home. I think her child would have been in school, preschool, and say, somebody beat her, and sometimes my daughter says that I'm always talking to my daughter. I know everybody in her class and what they do. So she said her daughter always comes. So she went to school earlier the next day, and then went to this child's class. Obviously, a lot of school would not even allow that. Yeah. And then she sat down with her friends and said, what? No, the child said, my friend said they don't like me. So, of course, she was troubled. Why would they be saying this to her child? And she went and then she sat down with them and realized her child, who had been bullying those other children, is why they are saying this. So she asked them, why don't you like Olivia? That's what. And he said, because she's always hitting us. She's always beating us. So she realized her child was a bully then. From there, she now said, she now told her child, boy, you can't beat people and expect them to like you, this and that. And she solved it, and they all group hugged each other and all of that. So, I mean, where does bullying start from? Can a child that young be a bully? Is that where it starts from?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll take that, because I work with children 0 to 6. Yes, a child as early as preschool can be a bully. They might not realize that what they're doing is bullying another child. But what I always say to parents is, you cannot blame the school, you cannot blame home. Now, for working with early years, it's a synergy. We need to bridge that gap, and we're constantly liaising with the home, because children are shaped by their environment, school environment and home
Mostly home environment.
Well, you know what, Ronke, honestly, because I thought through this a lot, and I felt, look, there are children who come into the setting who are perfect. And, you know, we have a mix match in schools. You don't know whose family you're sitting next to, your child is sitting next to. And so in the Montessori, we're starting what we call home visitations, believe it or not. And we're involving mothers, so we're having class mothers, because we need to get to the bottom of what goes on at home.
Right.
That's not to say, because I'm one person who never puts the blame on the home. I always look inward. What are we doing wrong in the school? How can we make it better? Now, in school, it's likely that a perfect child can come to school and meet a child who's not that perfect. And there's peer pressure.
Yes.
Like, you know, I looked at some of those children who are, you know, the alleged criminals at Dowen, and my heart went out to some of the mothers. Not all those mothers will be crazy.
No.
There will be some mothers who would be, oh my God, I cannot believe this is my child doing this. But you know, so because you know, I'm a mom. I've raised 3 boys, and I realize what peer pressure can do to a child. And peer pressure starts from preschool. Because you have a child who comes into the setting and you've raised all these perfect children. And one child comes and just, you know, shakes the table.
Yes, my mommy bought me shoes last week.
Exactly.
I know
And you find all these other children trying to be like this person because he's a hero. Why is he or she a hero? Because he's going against the grain. And so he comes in here and you find other children. It's happened quite recently and we had to nip it in the bud. You know, because we realized a child came, we don't call children naughty, we call them hyperactive. Because we label them affirmatively. And so, you know, we found this very hyperactive child coming into the setting, and our perfect children who would sit and listen in class all of a sudden became unruly, wanting to punch. And so we said, look, this is unacceptable. Okay? These are the courtesies and the graces that we adhere to in Montessori. Children don't run in class. Children don't hit other children. Children don't push. Look, even as much as playing with another child's hair, you know, and the child is saying, no, I don't want you to play with my hair, stop it. And you're like, no, I want to play with your hair. That is bullying.
Exactly.
You know, looking at a child and pointing out things that are imperfect about the child. Your ears are too big, your eyes are too small. You know, things that children feel that are
different.
You know, different, exactly. And when the child says, I don't like it, stop it. At the point where you say stop it and that other child continues, as a school owner, as a directress, as a teacher, you need to be deliberate and intentional and nip it in the bud at that moment. Now, that's for the school. Now for home. A lot of parents are too busy, I find,
see those things.
To see those things. Ronke, you have to be intentional and deliberate. I'll give you an example. So we have a son who's very hyperactive, and he had a friend visiting, female, and my husband felt the way he was interacting with her was slightly, you know, not gentlemanly. But between them two, it was perfect.
Right.
And so we had a conversation with him afterwards that, look, you really must be male, female friend. There's certain ways that you interact with people. Now, you get that. The child gets that. It's not likely that the child will repeat that.
Right.
So it's important for parents to really, you need to look out for the telltale signs in the home. And then also, parents should act like adults in the home. If you're having arguments, do not bring it to the children, you know, because they sponge you, they emulate you at this time. We call it in Montessori, it's called the absorbent mind stage, where they just copycat you. Anything you do
is what they do.
Yes, and we've sat a couple of children down at school and we find out that there's violence coming out of the home. You know, so it's it's a mixed match. I'm not going to put blame on it's the school or it's the home
or it's society.
Yes, school, you need to be extra vigilant because I believe in Dowen College. I mean, you know, I prayed a prayer that may the enemy not catch us unawares. Because this is Dowen College who've built a reputation over the years. And it's not easy to build a school. I'm sure you would understand what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, just a couple of children come and they pull down this empire that you've built. But I say to myself also, how attentive were they at Dowen College?
Yes.
You know, in boarding houses, I don't run a boarding house. I don't intend to, but I know people who run boarding houses. Are we getting to the stage now where we must put one teacher in each room
Exactly.
to see, not just have a house mistress,
Yes.
or, you know, has it come to that stage where adults must be in the room with the children so that you see what goes on?
Yes.
Because apparently it's when the lights go out.
Yes.
You know, these children
Do all
perpetrate all
sorts.
this
Right.
evil. So, I mean, I'll hand it over to my sister here because she will be better, you know, informed to let us know how can you curb such incidents.
Absolutely, and we will get there because, I mean, we're going to take a short break because when I come back, I think that when they also get to secondary school, sometimes the parents ignore some of this because they feel you need to toughen up, Joe. We tell our children, you go to boarding school. A lot of parents send their children to boarding school to toughen them up. So is this right or you are being bullied? Good. Hopefully that will teach you to become a man or to step up so that when you get outside, people can't chance you. That is what we do in order to put our children through in order to get them to be more. So we're going to talk about that toxicity, I call it. You know, when we come back from this short commercial break, don't go away. Call somebody else and say there's an interesting conversation happening on Splash 105.5 FM so that when we're back, you can be a part of it. Don't go away.
Yo, the streets are not smiling. The speed at which everyone is learning new skills. How am I supposed to impress when the other guy can play the piano, sing, cook? I hear he's even learning a new language.
Guy, you need to upgrade your skills with MTN's reliable internet and countless learning videos on YouTube. There's no limit to how far you can grow. You get up to 7 hours of free streaming on YouTube anytime you buy data plans from MTN. Dial *131# to get started.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Today is a good day. A good day to take a walk. A good day to reach for your goals. A good day to finish reading that book. A good day to connect with your friends while doing the things you love. A good day to shoot your shot. A good day to enjoy life to the fullest with Malta Guinness.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
Arenax Plus ní orúkọ tó yẹ kó rántí ní ìgbàkúùgbà tí ó bá fẹ́ rí ara rẹ̀ tí ó sì nílò láti lo oògùn ibà lọ́nà tó rọrùn. Arenax Plus ní oògùn ibà tá a ṣe pẹ̀lú èròjà artemether àti lumefantrine tí yóò lé àìsàn ibà dànù kúrò láàgọ́ ara rẹ̀ ní kíákíá láìsí ìnira kankan. Ó dára fún ọmọdé àti àgbàlagbà. Arenax Plus ṣá àìsàn ibà balẹ̀ kó wómúwómú.
Tí kò bá sí àyípadà lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, kàn sí dókítà rẹ.
Arenax Plus ó wà káàkiri àwọn ilé ìtajà òògùn tó súnmọ́ yín. Oògùn ibà gidi tó yàtọ̀ láti ilé iṣẹ́ Swiffer.
Virtual meetings, online shopping, mobile payments, and even online weddings. Alert, your pocket-friendly digital bank, is your plug to own your world as you can transfer funds, pay bills, buy airtime and data, and perform all bank transactions from your comfort zone with zero stress and zero hassle. Download the Alert app today on Google Play Store and on the iOS App Store.
Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ a sì máa mú ìdẹ̀rùn wá láti wá dènà ìjàmbá iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná ojúlówó wáyà tàbí kébù ló yẹ ká fi fa iná nínú ilé lọ́fíìsì àti nínú ìlú Purchem wires and cables ní àwọn ilé iṣẹ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná àti àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe yàn láàyò ojúlówó ni kì í bó lára kò kì í jóná àbáàdì kì í kán sínú ó sì fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòǹtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa Purchem wires and cables tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Kaman ló ṣe ojúlówó wires and cable jáde olú iléeṣẹ́ Purchem wires and cables limited wà ní Afrin's compound Fort Gate number 122/132 Oṣòdì Apapa Expressway Ìyànà Ìsọlọ̀ bus stop Lagos ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ní 080-803-03257 Purchem wires and cables ìrọ̀rùn fi iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná.
I wanted to upgrade my house to impress the girl I choose, so I rallied my friends. They started giving me options.
Oh boy, you have to pick one. Fine house or fine area.
But why? Why do I have to choose? If I make smart choices, why can't I have it all?
Yes, you can have it all with a smart choice like Santex Paints. You can have everything you want. High quality paint that is long lasting and affordable. Insist on value. Insist on Santex Paint. The smart choice.
Ní gbogbo oṣù kejìlá ọdọọdún every December nínú àwọn ògo rere máa ń dó yàtọ̀. Ìdí ni pé àsìkò ọdún ni bàbá kérésì tún máa ń bá wọn mú ẹ̀bùn wá láti Rome.
My dear.
Yes.
Àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ máa yọ mí lẹ́nu pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ wo Father Christmas.
No problem. Wọ́n máa lọ kí wọ́n lè lọ catch fun.
Wò wọ́n mà ti dé torí pé wọ́n gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Father Christmas.
Daddy, take me to Father Christmas. You know my Father Christmas.
Ẹ má worry, mọ́mí yín máa kó yín lọ.
Thank you, Daddy.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Bàbá Kérésì ti Splash FM àti Lagelu FM ti balẹ̀ bàgẹ́ sí Palms Shopping Mall Ring Road nílùú Ìbàdàn pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀bùn tó jọjú. Àwọn máa ṣojú lóge, wọn á tún ya fọ́tò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni oríṣiríṣi orin aládùn tó máa dún sí wọn létí. Àwọn gbajúmọ̀ òṣèré sinimá, olórin àtàwọn agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ máa wà níkàlẹ̀ láti bá wọn ṣeré. Ìdíje oríire, raffle draw tó wà ní sẹpẹ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀bùn kẹ̀kẹ́ hẹrìmọ̀. Ẹgbẹ̀rún kàbọ̀ náírà 1,500 naira. Lọ́mọ ká fi wọlé láti December 1 títí di 24. 20% discount wà fún gbogbo àwọn iléèwé tí wọ́n bá kọ́mọ wá. Àwọn iléeṣẹ́ tó ṣonígbọ̀wọ́ Bàbá Kérésì tọ̀tẹ̀ yìí ni Danabis Homes and Properties Limited, Ologe Boutique tó wà ní AP Filling Station, Akala Express Road, Ibadan. Sion Kitchen and Rental Services, Wema Bank, Àpáta. Showbox Water, Àpáta Omiadio Road àti You Fit Fly. Father Christmas ti Splash FM àti Lagelu FM ní Palm Shopping Mall, Ring Road nílùú Ìbàdàn. Ọdún Ayabo.
Dominion University is a world-class private institution located in a serene environment conducive for teaching, learning, quality research, and development. We are currently admitting students into our various programs of study. Candidates with JAMB score of 140 and above, including 5 O-level credits in SSCE, NECO, GCE, can apply for our courses. We are also admitting students who already have their 5 O-level credits in SSCE, NECO, and GCE into our foundation programs. For further information, kindly log on to our website www.dominionuniversity.edu.ng or call us on 0816 640 2123, 0901 048 4404, and 0901 048 4428. Dominion University, raising generational leaders.
It's game night at the Bensons and everyone's having fun. Then, this.
Hey, son, what's the matter? You too? No way.
Don't let coughs and the common cold ruin your fun time. Tuxil range of uniquely formulated day and night syrups provides effective relief from cough and cold. Product may cause drowsiness. Tuxil, the job gets done when the cough is gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Splash FM 105.5.
Welcome back. It is still Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station. And I'm your host this morning. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. We're having a needed conversation today because sometimes I always say that it's not until something is broken and destroyed that we now start to, do something about it. And unfortunately, we're talking about bullying, looking at the case of Sylvester Oramoni, who died as a result of bullying from some of his colleagues at Dowen College in Lagos. I have two heavyweights in the studio with me today. We have the founder of the Nest Montessori and the Bridge International School, Mrs. Oyinda Molaige, is here with me. And of course, we have the director of Ebire Group of Schools here with me as well, Mrs. Bukola Ogniemi. And it's such a delight. I mean, if you missed the first half of our conversation, well, I don't know, maybe I make available the video. Go on Facebook. You can also watch back the video. All right, so I want to ask you, Mrs. Ogniemi, about, I know a lot of people generally put their children in boarding school because they just want them to perhaps learn routine and maybe because they really don't have time. I remember you told me something once that your mom told you, Zoinda, where you talked about how if you really have a good school, I think we're talking about how some parents will bring their children on a Sunday if they had to. And you thought, what kind of parents is it on? And your mom said, if you have someone who can take good care of your children, then let them, so don't, if you have to work, because, I mean, we're in this economy where both mommies and daddies have to work now. Unfortunately, back in the days, mommies, could be as available. Some people just have to put their children in boarding school, so I wouldn't judge them. But then some people put their children in boarding school because learn how to be tough. Perhaps maybe it's a boy that when he's fighting, he runs away from the fight, go to boarding school to learn, and then they start bullying. What are your thoughts on this?
Very good, Ronke. Let me start with the story. I think I told you yesterday. Yes. I had a West Indian mother. My mother was from Trinidad and Tobago. Wow. And my father felt my brother, he was the oldest. We lost him, unfortunately. Not to bullying, sorry. No. he decided, my father decided this guy needed to be toughened up. He was surrounded by all girls. It was it was 3 girls after him, and he was the only boy. So he decided to send him to a school outside Oyo State. It was the Western region. He would have been 62 if he hadn't passed on. He was there first year, second year, third year, and at night, a senior sent him to buy cigarettes after lights out. He went, he bought the cigarettes, and on his way back, he tripped and fell and hurt his eye. It was a very deep gash. It was so deep that after a while, the eye started to turn green. Wow. Yes. He was far away from home. It wasn't the days of cell phones. Yes. There was no way they could call. He couldn't even say what happened. He couldn't say that the senior sent him to do such and such, right? Long story short, thank God there was another half West Indian guy in the school who was a senior. Yes. He got a message to my mother, and there was the Third World War that happened in the house that day. My mother insisted this child is not going back. There's nothing you say, he's not going back. And he ended up attending school, finishing off and attending school in Ibadan. Now, so many parents make the mistake that I'm sending my child to, and he was the sacrificial lamb. He was the scapegoat. None of us, it was 5 of us, none of us went to. And my children, from primary to secondary to when they graduated from the university, no child, of course, my children had to go to, the first time they left home was when they went to university. Wow. Yes. So many parents make that mistake that they get toughened up. They learn so much. I was in Tanzania 2 weeks ago, and I spoke to somebody very close to me. She told me a very frightening story. She was in South Africa, and she told me her son was raped in school several times over. Several times over, and she didn't even know.
You'll be shocked how many grown men we have now whose reality.
Up 20-something years after. And she asked, she said, how did I fail as a mother? This child ran away from home several times from the boarding house and came back home, and she kept on sending him back. So toughening your child, sending your child to, I personally don't believe in the boarding house. That's me. That does not mean to say that there are not good boarding schools out there. There's some really good boarding schools, teach the children etiquette, manners, academic excellence, everything all encompassing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So I would not say outright, that's my own view and that's my own belief. Right. Because my mother didn't believe in it. She saw the bad side of a boarding house. Right. That is it. So I am not against it, but I am not for it.
Not for it.
I'm not for it.
Right. Let's go back to the younger kids now, because I mean, off air we talked about a lot of things. Sorry guys, you missed that. But let's talk about how, I mean, sometimes in a home, there's all sort of things happening.
Absolutely.
And how do you shield your children so that they don't carry those things to other children? For example, I even use myself as an example. There are times when I'm yelling at my older girls, and my youngest is their lawyer. I call her the advocate. Can I not talk to my children again? What is your own? I'm always facing her. Once I'm talking to her and she sees I'm already heated, she stands in front of me. And she also raises her shoulders. So I realized that
speaks up.
Yes, and speaks up. I said, what did she do? What did she do to you, mommy? Why are you yelling? You know, and I realized that, you know, I would hiss. She started hissing too. And anytime I tell her to do something she doesn't like, she's also banging things.
Yes.
How do you? What I did was, obviously, when I want to, because I must talk to your older children. I must. So I tell her, Auntie, please excuse us.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And I shut the door, and then I
have your conversation.
Yes. You know, so how do you? But there are some parents where they are beating each other
in front of the children. Yes. So it's like I said, don't leave everything to the school. Don't put all the blame on the school. At the end of the day, we're the ones who own these children. And that's what parents must always realize. My mom always says something, that it's you that gave birth to the child that will take care of your child. Whether or not you send your child to boarding school for convenience sake, at the end of the day, your child is your child. Your child is not Dowen College. Your child is not your school. Your child is not the Nest Montessori.
Exactly.
Your child is carrying your name. So I say that I've raised 3 boys, and I'm proud to say that God has helped me to raise these boys, along with with my husband as well. Now, for what you said, I also used to be a yeller, but I guess being working with children has also tamed me down as well, because I'm very conscious of the fact that children absorb everything you do. My husband, kudos to him, from day one in the marriage, had said to me, whatever differences we have, the children mustn't know. It might sound like it's not realistic because children must know that, look, sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're... But not that it will get to the point where you will get into fisticuffs or start calling yourselves names in front of the children. Because really, I say it again, and for those who are listening, children are born perfect. Even these children that perpetrated this dastardly act at Dowen College were not born like that. No. A lot of Nigerians are so spiritual. That's another conversation for another day. That they tend to forget that even God says in wisdom, you know, we should do all things. Yes. God gave us children, and he entrusted these children to us, not to the schools. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that children are, you know, to be raised by the school. At the end of the day, we're sending our children out to school for them to get an education. Right. Okay? Yes. It is not, once they teach your children math and English, and they teach your children to be literate, be thankful. Okay? Because a lot of schools don't actually... If you find, it's only when Montessori has sprung up and for old traditional, you know, proprietresses that realize that it's important for you to instill morals into education. Very, very There's certain schools in this city of Ibadan that their children don't even greet you. And it starts basically from that. Children are talking back to teachers. In my days growing up, absolutely, children are lynching,
beating teachers.
Beating teachers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Did you not hear that? The one that beat up his, in Edo State, beat up his teacher to death?
Yes. Yes. So at the end of the day, we're circling back to the home. Parents, hear and hear good.
Clear.
Teachers, schools are not going to do your job for you.
There's no shortcut.
You send your children to boarding house for convenience. Let it end there. Let it be for the convenience if you're getting along with life. When your children come back home, drop everything and spend time. I remember when my children were going out of the country to study, I cut a deal with my husband. And I said, you know what? My children will be back home every holiday. Every holiday, and at the slightest opportunity that I get, I will be on that aircraft going to visit my children.
Exactly.
Because I need to know who your friends are. Okay? I need to know, my children don't do, and this thing called play dates, people need to stop it. Okay? Because especially at preschool level, you're sending your children to people's homes.
That
you don't even know which uncle is lurking in the dark. You don't know which brother is all shades of crazy.
You don't know which father is a
pedophile. You don't know whose father is a pedophile. Because he comes to school speaking English and he looks good in a suit. You don't know whose father is beating up their wives in front of your children. You don't know which parents are raising knives to each other. So this thing called play dates, let us not be more westernized than the English.
It can never be me. It can never be me. I hope my older ones are listening because they feel I'm too strict. I've never allowed them to sleepovers. But when I tell them these things...
Ronke, it makes a lot of sense. You sleep over in whose home? You know? Sleep over with your family. Sleep over with people who you've checked, you've done, you know who they are.
I've done a background check.
Don't come and tell me that you just met somebody in school. My children will not even come up to me to say that. I just met somebody. I don't know him. I don't know his parents. I'm sorry. I'm unapologetic about who I expose my children to. It is so important. There's so much. Look, we're dealing with bullying. We're dealing with you know, all sorts of funny sexual preferences. You were talking to us about a young lady, a boy who was raped. You know what I mean?
And he never told his mother. 20 years down the line, something came up and he said, Mom, you don't even know half of the story. She said, that happened to you and I kept on sending you back to this school over and over, and he never opened. Why? Because the seniors told him, if you open your mouth, we will kill you.
Absolutely.
Look, can I just conclude by saying, at the end of the day, parents, please shine your eyes.
Open wide.
Be intentional and deliberate about fishing out telltale signs in your children. Children are not so good that they will not slip up. When your child is changing, you will know.
Transition.
You will notice the transition. I keep telling people stories about my mother, God bless her. I came home with an umbrella that wasn't mine. My mom beat me black and blue in those days
because say that's child abuse.
Absolutely, because she was saying to me, whose umbrella is this? Why did you think that you needed to bring somebody else's stuff back home? It starts from those little things.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So parents, please be deliberate and intentional. Don't leave it all to the schools.
Absolutely. Mrs. Okoyemi, should we criminalize France actually just released a statement about school bullies to face jail under law approved by French.
Let me throw that to the lawyer.
Okay.
let me throw that to the lawyer.
Thank you for that.
Yes, you're the lawyer, so and let me not speak out of context.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I absolutely 100% sanction that.
Wow.
That bullying, because it's turned into, it's a criminal act, especially when, because this is first-degree murder that we're dealing with Savannah's case. So it's not manslaughter. And there are other people who are culpable, i.e., I hear those children were flown out
of the country.
So accessories after the fact. Yes, there's something in law we call accessories after the fact. They're also culpable when you're helping criminals to evade the law.
Yes.
Now, they're criminalizing things like you're cheating in an exam. I mean, at the universities, if you're caught cheating,
even at work, at
YA, if you're caught cheating, I mean, come on.
Yes.
Apples and oranges. We're talking about bullying that can cause death.
Yes.
So if they can criminalize that, I say in Nigeria,
100%.
legislators, lawyers should get together and include it in the child. I totally 100%.
Okay, so just finally, because we haven't got, how do you say there's no bullying happening in your school? How do you check?
I'm not saying that there's no bullying.
Okay.
There's
how
bullying.
do you check? What are the checks and balances? Especially for the older ones.
I am very accessible.
Okay.
I am not one of those school directors or school owners that you have to fill a form or there's too much tralala to get in. No. So my children have access to me. Even the little ones, they come and tell me. They leave their classroom sometimes, maybe break time. Mrs. Ogunyemi, so did this to me. And they want to, because they feel they have gone to meet a higher authority, not the teacher. I said, is your teacher in the class? Yes, but I've come to tell you because I know you're going to do something about it. The same thing in the secondary school. The accessibility is there. The children can come and talk, and we nip it in the bud, as she said, get to the roots of the matter, involve the parents, find out. I don't think we've expelled a child before. Wow. No, I don't think so. Then the secondary school is quite small. There's a little over 100. So you know everybody.
Yes.
And there's kind of, there's a kind of respect. Everybody knows everybody. You understand? So we try as much as possible to, to let us, we know what's going on in their minds, get their parents involved as soon as possible. And also that also operates in the primary, at the primary level as well.
Fantastic. All right, let me take this call. Hello, good morning. All right, you can call us. I can take one or two telephone calls. I see our phone lines are buzzing off the hook. Let me not yappy people, because last week I had this topic and it was crickets. So, but I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad that it's because of this that everybody now wants to say something.
Very good.
Let's take. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Still not live. Okay. Hello, good morning. Okay, we can't hear you. Please try call back. Hello, good morning. Okay, all right, try call 080-5699-8678 if you'd like to. I think there's somebody here. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead, real quickly. You've got just 1 minute, please.
I want to ask two questions. Each time, experts say we shouldn't flog our children, that we should use traditional method. And one of your guests just said she was beaten, by the mom for bringing in. I mean, should we totally discard traditional way of beating? Because I was beaten to the age of 12 by my dad, and he called me and told me he's not going to flog me anymore, that he knows I've learned or I need to learn, and that has helped me up to now. That is the first one. Secondly, we have some rich homes where they tell their children that they have all the whole power and they can inherit anything. And because of that mindset, the children go out there and bully, knowing full well that they could escape the wrath of the law. How do we address parents who do that? Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Can I take the beating one? Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. Awesome. So, in the days of old, beating was because our parents are all about spare the rod and spoil the child. However, in this day and age, what they used to raise us then does not necessarily work in these times. So what I will say is, study your child, okay? Know the child that rod of correction will work with, and know the child that rod of correction will make worse. There's some children who beating will make let their brain sit, as they say. There's some children that beating will turn them into tyrants. Totally.
By the time they start collecting
exactly. When they start collecting cane from you, know that it is time to stop. Now, there's some of my children. I have 3 boys. There's one that I know beating will change that situation, but the other one. it's just better to have a conversation. So what I would say is know your child, sir. The same, you cannot apply the same medicine to different
all the children. True. Ms. Dokunyemi, you're talking about rich. Do you have parents who are rich and who obviously give their children this, I can do anything
they
I like?
already know. No matter how rich you are, once you come into the school, we put you in order. We tell you what the rules and the regulations are. So you cannot come and just start misbehaving anyhow. I'm serious. My parents will tell you that.
Okay.
So what are you pumping into your child? What are you telling your child? If you are rich, another call.
Yes, let's just take this.
Hello.
Yes, you've got 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my name is Omar from Iwo Road. I just want to chip something in. I think the parents also have a major role to play. Major role to play in the sense that most parents are having the words are too scared of some parents, of their parents most times. Some kids are too careful to tell their parents what they are going through in school. So maybe once parents are very accessible to their kids or to their words, they ask questions. What are you facing in school? What are you friends with? Who are you scared of? Who are you scared of in school? Questions like that should be asked often from children. So I think that would be it, and that will go a long way also.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. That's so true. That's, I think, that's so true. I mean, we have to wrap up, unfortunately, but I've enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much. You've made so many important points that I hope that parents that are home and then also school owners, teachers are listening to. They've made such valid points, nuggets that they've dropped that I hope, because we hope never to see this kind of incident again.
No, so many other schools other students are speaking from other schools.
Yes, exactly.
It has opened a can of worms.
Absolutely.
It has opened up a can of worms.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Onidaigi. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you very much.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes,
I think schools should set up a school bullying or violence prevention club.
Right.
I think it's every school should have one of those.
Students.
Yes, so that if you are being bullied, you belong to the club, can find out ways in which you can be helped, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, yes. And one thing I can take away from all of you, also even the callers, be accessible as a parent and as a teacher
and as a school owner.
And as a school owner, be accessible.
To come and talk to
children
you.
will keep quiet if they feel like if I can't even come to you anyway. Exactly.
Yes. Ronke, can I just say that we're focusing a lot on bullying, but in Dowen College, there's a more fundamental problem.
Yes.
Cultism.
True.
And that's another topic for another day. There's something that sprung up the bullying, and people so it looks like bullying has sort of overtaken. The fact that cultism is actually a much more grievous.
These are 14, 15-year-olds.
Absolutely. So I think somebody needs to address that issue.
Absolutely.
As well.
That's definitely another discussion for another day, hopefully. And I hope I can have them both back. They've just been such huge stars today. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. God bless you, Ma. Thank you very much,
Thank
Ma.
you so much, Ronke.
God bless you. All right, that's it on the edition of Beyond the Surface. Go back on Facebook if you didn't watch from the beginning. Watch back. And please, obviously, do the needful. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.
Splash FM 105.5.
Phoenix app has everything you may be searching for on the internet.
Travel destinations for my next adventure?
You bet.
I love food. Finding new recipes is my guilty pleasure.
Sure.
Can I get updates on news, football, movies, music, and fashion that I love?
Well, I also love searching for vintage dolls.
Whatever it is, find the best version of everything you love and so much more with the Phoenix app. Search, download, share, and save special memories with friends all in a jiffy. Download Phoenix on Google Play Store today. Phoenix, find likes.
ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi mo ti ń lọlé ara ìyàwó mi ò yá lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí. àtàmátàsé ó ti tún gbá bọ́ọ̀lù sáwọn àbí ọ̀rẹ́ kò mọ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ìyàwó mi ti lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò tó fi hàn wípé ó ní àrùn ibà. a jẹ́ pé àrùn ibà ṣì ń dà yín láàmú. ó dàbí ẹni wípé o tí ì gbọ́ nípa ọ̀rẹ́ mi àtàtà. ọ̀wù ọ̀rẹ́ wo ló tún máa ní tí a kò mọ̀ nípa rẹ̀. ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ eléyìí tún jù yín lọ. orúkọ ọ̀rẹ́ mi akíkanjú adùnbárìn ni Zoxyn. mo gbọ́dọ̀ mọ ọ̀rẹ́ yìí dáadáa. kò sí wàhálà Zoxyn ni oògùn ibà tó dáa pẹ̀lú èròjà àtẹ̀mítà àti lumifantrin. Bí ọ̀rẹ́ mi Zoxyn bá kọlu àrùn ibà lára ẹ, á gba kúrò níbi òrí ọ̀rẹ́ tó dáa ju Zoxyn mi lọ. Arákùnrin, ìyẹn ni wípé o mọ̀ nípa eléyìí tó fi tó wa létí. Kò burú, nísìnyí tí mo ti mọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré lọ bá ìyàwó mi ra Zoxyn. Ilé-iṣẹ́ Bond Chemical Industries Limited tó ń ṣe Bonabe fún àwọn ọmọ ọwọ́ ló ń ṣe Zoxyn akíkanjú ọkọ ibà. Ó wà ní ilé ìtajà oògùn tó wà ní agbègbè rẹ. Tí ara rẹ kò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tó o ti ń lo Zoxyn, yára lọ rí dókítà.
Oh, where's this Benjamin boy now? I called him this morning that the car is not starting and he promised to come early.
But honey, have you done the morning checks?
What checks? I beg, what do you know about cars anyway?
Oh yeah, pop the bonnet.
Which bonnet?
Honey, I say pop the bonnet too.
Okay.
Okay, start the car.
What have you done now? Oh.
Start it.
Wow, you did it.
I told you.
What did you do? How did you do it?
I'll give you a hint. Tune to Auto Clinic with the mechanic every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on Splash FM for your weekly dose of cars and everything vehicle related.
Auto Clinic with the mechanic every Wednesday 10:30 to 11 a.m. on Splash 105.5 FM.